Hello, I'm Fiction Novice and welcome to my Let's Play of Minecraft. So this here is a world I've been working on for a little while and am quite proud of. This being episode 0 of the Let's Play is basically just going to be a tour of the world so far, catch up on projects that I'm working on and moving forward to. I'll make more specific episodes for future episodes, like episode 1, 2, so far and so forth. But before we go ahead, I have installed 2 mods recently. One being the Mob's Head mod, and the second being the Armor Stand Posing mod. So you'll see quite a few armor stands and heads kind of laying around. That was just me playing with the mods and preparing to kind of make civilians for this whole area. So with that, I should also mention that I play with a tick speed of 10 instead of 2, I think is the default. So the days and nights are a little bit faster, and farms are faster as well. I've also got the fire tick spread off as well. And then, as well as all of that, I also take huge inspiration from all of the hermits on Hermitcraft. So with this current season, I'm trying my best to watch all of the hermits. The time is limited, but either which way, yeah, let's get this all started. So, with this, I'm going to try and do this all in chronological order from the builds. Some of them will be out of order, just because of where they're located, but largely they will be chronological. So this, probably easiest place to start. Mumbo Jumbo did some geese in Hermitcraft Season 11, and I really enjoyed it, and made some doves using the same principles as well. One sec, sorry. Alrighty, there we go. So, with that, this is my starter base. Small little dome-like structure, I guess. Doesn't have any doors, just walk straight in. And downstairs we've got a storage system which is now empty because I moved it all. I did have a copper golem here, but he ended up oxidizing, so I buried him somewhere. Now we'll move on to here. This is a old shack that I brought in. I did have my enchantment table set up here, but I've since moved it to another location over in the city area that way. Let's go here. This is a vine farm. Grab some shears, just trim. Yeah, pretty simple, pretty basic, nothing special at all. Over here we have a canal. I think this is a canal at least. Boats kind of rock up here if there were any boats. The structure looks neat, and once I get some buildings over that way, the framing is going to look so good. But down here, the main reason is to hide this, which is zombie farm, or zombie spawner. So, yeah, I need to decorate this room a lot more. Oh well. Now, there we go. Alright, next one is our cow farm. So this kind of goes in 2 stages. I'll be nice to you and turn that down. So the first stage is the slaughterhouse. So we've got the entity cramming kind of farms here. I'm going to put more heads on the top. We've got some chunks of meat. I don't really remember what they're called. And then over here is the more ethical farm, which is where the cows are kind of free roaming. I don't know how all of these villages got in here, but they did, and I got to live with it. And then, whoa, that is slow. Then we go up here and go to my first garden area. Got custom trees all over the place. This one was actually my very first custom tree that I ever made, and I still don't think I did too badly. Like, there's some spots here and there that don't work. The branches aren't really natural, but did pretty well for a first go. Over here I've got a Stiffer. His name's Undies. I love him to death. He is amazing. So much better than I thought when the mob vote came out. Over here we've got a church, stained glass little mural. This is where I farm my netherwort when on the very small and few occasions that I do need to use it. And then we have over this way a mine. So, you know, we got a little collapsed stone decoration, I don't know. Down here on the right we've got our stone mine just above the deep slate level, and then we've got the deep slate mine all the way at the bottom, then a nether portal, of course. A creepy cow that just keeps on staring at me. Either way, this is where I gave birth to, I guess. Created? No, I don't know. My first happy ghast. I hatched him here, hydrated him here, whatever you want to say, and happy guy has a little nest. This was my first snow farm as well, so you know, happy days on that. Then, yeah, let's go over this way. Sorry I'm trying to do this fast. I don't want my first video to be like too long, but I've kind of started this YouTube channel way too soon. Yeah, late? Too soon? Whatever. This is going to lead up to this castle over here. So, this is where I trade for the large part, or on the large part. Just steal this bit from him. Thank you, good sir. So, yeah, this is where the villagers roam around. You know, they're trading, they're having a happy life. Over here, we've got the castle grounds. I don't know what I'm going to do in this area, but I kind of have a frame for the castle itself over here, which I'm thinking of extending further back, actually. This is going to be a giant, like, custom tree. The castle is going to be huge with a throne room. It's going to look so good once it's done, but because it's my first huge project, I don't know if this would classify as a mega build yet. I'm not, like, practiced in how to separate it, I guess, so I've just been leaving it here out of laziness, honestly. Yeah, so we'll go back down here and to this area. So this is where I manually picked my sweet berries when I was dirt poor, and then this is when I decided to find a fox and give him an endless food supply. So in return for the food supply, I tax him a little bit of sweet berries, and that just activates the whole time. Then, if we go over here, this is my pumpkin farm, overflowing, as you can kind of see through the glass. And this glass piece with the fire, that's the first time I've ever played around with glass, so honestly, I think I did pretty well. I'm considering putting a few grey, like light grey glass panes up like kind of there, and that'll act as a little bit of smoke. But otherwise, I'm really happy with it in all honesty. We go up here, we've got a caravan. I should have given more donkeys. This poor donkey carries this whole thing around. But yeah, just a little trading spot for the caravan. Dead tree over here. This was, again, pretty early into my custom tree making, so it's not the best, but I'm pretty proud of it all the same. And then we've got the wool farm over here. So the observers detect when it turns into grass. Then when they eat the grass, it observes it again. They get the wool, shear it, and wool spawns down here. Or not spawns, filters into. And yeah, pretty simple design, but pretty effective. Especially when going through the deep dark area for the skulk sensors that I needed for those. Now over here we've got the villager breeder. I should turn it off honestly, but I like having villagers roam around. It's pretty lively to have them. And yeah, so basically they just feed each other the carrots, and then once they have enough carrots, they detect a third bed over here, and yeah, make a child, which then falls into the water and joins society to get a job. Gotta love it. So if we go, I didn't show you the statue yet, did I? No. So over here we've got a statue. I copied this design from Google Images. I did make some alterations. I used the trapdoors as iron plating, got the mangrove trapdoors as kind of more fabric-y stuff, but yeah, I was really happy with him. He filled in this space pretty well, because when I was building it, I just did not know what to put here. If we go back up here, we now go to the sugarcane farm. So this one is pretty strange, especially for me. I've been playing this game for years. But with this one, I tried to give myself the challenge of building a sugarcane on a diagonal, a sugarcane farm on a diagonal instead of on the straight. So it's still the basic observer, piston, water source, and sugarcane. But what happens is underneath, because I can't really get the minecart to work, I end up having a minecart underneath each of them. That'll pick up any sugarcane that falls straight onto the block, and then that feeds into the filter, feeds into the line of hoppers that are underneath them. If you're wondering how the that fell. If you're wondering how the sand stays up, that's just because of the railings. Over here, I mentioned before that I did used to have a copper golem in my starter base, and this is him, Hephaestus Armelius. He oxidized, so I gave him a nice little custom tree to kind of rest in. I didn't realize until later that I could revive him, but by that point this was already made in history. He was the most useless, incompetent, and lovable boy because he could not sort out what went into where in that storage room, but he tried his best, and I respect him for it. I even love him for it. Now, you'll notice that is a very small tucked off, kind of side part of the base. With my design, especially later on into the city district over that way, a lot of it is very compact in terms of kind of what the builds are. The reason why I made it so compact is because when building, I build on this philosophy of making it kind of a walkable space. So when I walk through a base, I want to see everything, well, not see everything, I want to feel the spirit of the city. So in this district, which I commonly call the settlement district, because these are the first buildings that I made in the world to get the essentials, got food for farm, mine, starter house, food, meat, the starts of my grand design for the base, which I quickly shuffled over that way, first redstone farm, and so on and so forth. It has the spirit, it's got all the nature and the grass and flowers and all that stuff. But then over there, I wanted to make a city, but I didn't want to make it absolutely huge roads and all that stuff all over the place. So I ended up compacting it and making it tight-fitting alleys and kind of like a maze in a way. And I really enjoy it personally. It might not be for everyone, but for me, in my world, I quite like it. Either which way, so you would have noticed there's of course a river kind of splitting the two, the city district and the settlement district over here. If we go a little bit further up, there is another walkway over here. This is just flower beds and decorations, little lava barrels that they're hauling across from the city. And then over here, this is going to lead into a sewer system, like one of those ancient medieval ones with the statues inside and all that stuff. The sewage system basically for that castle up there, which is going to be kind of nifty once I do get around to building that. Down here, we've got my unofficial mycelium farm. This is primarily because I didn't want mycelium to go extinct. Well, I say extinct, like of course I can find a new mushroom biome, but you'll find later on when I go to my one that it's all green now because I actually made it green. I have some plans for my mushroom island later down the track. But yeah, over here we've got my iron farm. Now this is a very old Waddles design. If it's not Waddles, he copied it from someone else and would have credited it in that video. But basically there's a zombie in the middle there. That is scaring the 3 villagers in the pods and then causing the iron golems to spawn on top, get funneled into the system and drop the iron from the lava. With that, I've recently emptied it because I wanted to get some more iron golem, or not more iron golem heads, just iron golem heads overall. And yeah, probably the best part about it is what I added later on, which is that waterfall. So, one sec, sorry. So, the waterfall is kind of a retroactive addition to it to, one, unite the city district to the settlement district, because this river, when I made it, I was like, yeah, this will divide up the areas really nicely. But when my city district started clashing into the settlement district, I realized that there was a very big style change. So what I needed to do was blend the 2 districts in a way, which is when I added this aqueduct as well. So the intention was to retroactively make the iron farm a water tank. No, not water tank, water tower. So the glass waterfall is just the water overflowing, and then it goes into the more city-inspired aqueduct, and you can even tell the different design. There's no, apart from the mangrove, there's no wood in that. There's the chains, the wires, the lights at the bottom. If over there, it kind of blends the 2 styles, and I was really happy with it. Still am. So with that, we go into a small little garden area. So along with that story about the water tower, the area underneath became really difficult to manage. So I made it a little garden, and I'm really happy with it. I got these little gates leading into the garden, a little campsite here, flowers and grass all over the place, a frog statue. I copied this one from Google Images, much like that statue over there, but unfortunately I hadn't found the creator, so I can't give them credit where it is due, but I am a big fan of this little frog statue. I've got a little sitting area, nice, peaceful, cozy, with a sword in the stone sitting right there. These trees are supposed to be smaller, so I ended up using walls and fences to create the stalks and the branches. I got the flowery leaves and then the cherry blossom ones over here as well. So I was really happy with that. Over here we have my, I guess technically gunpowder and string farm, because I did not proof the creeper farm to not spawn spiders as well, so I kind of get both right now. Sometimes the timer at the very bottom breaks and it doesn't activate the water pumps that push the creepers off of the platforms in that structure, but honestly, I don't mind. I've got plenty of rockets right now, and all I need to do is just AFK at it, and we'll fix it, then AFK at it for a little bit when I do need to. So, big breaths. I am trying to make this as quickly as possible. First video being an hour long, like the original draft, is not going to be a good look. Now, with that, we go down here. This is leading to a dripstone little cave. Oh, not cave. Dripstone something. It's the farm. We've got a nice little farm here. Looks like it's recently harvested it. Similar... how do you say it? Similar design to the sugarcane and the sugarcane and bamboo farms. Observers observe when the dripstone grows to that point and then breaks it just towards the base. Items fall, minecarts pick it up. Pretty simple, but I do quite enjoy it. And then we head back up here. And we'll head down here. Also, that's a nice little dead tree. Got the blue fire to make it ghostly. Probably the first hints of what will eventually become a dark district over in another corner. But here we've got my honeycomb farm and honey farm overall. There's going to be a little tender here. The interior is not done. You'll notice that about a lot of buildings. We've got honeycomb here, but I did fail the design for the honey bottles. So right now it's kind of just sitting there getting completely wasted. But that's okay. I don't need honey right now. We go further down and we've got a cacti farm or cactus farm. Currently not fully working. Oh, sorry, it is working. It's just full because I never use cactus in my design or green dyes for the most part. Either which way, I quite enjoy it. We've got a little docking station here. In future, I'm going to add a few little rowboats leading up to the docking station just to give it a bit more life. And with these cobwebs, when I initially settled here, there was an abandoned village. So these cobwebs are literally just cobwebs from the buildings that were originally here and kept here in the spirit of what was originally constructed in this area. Over here, we've got a little forge with a super smelter, or not super smelter, geez, automatic smelter or whatever you want to call it. And we've got, yeah, just a cozy little area, honestly. This building, absolutely useless, just a very awkward spot where I needed to put something. We got Turtle Beach or Turtle Oasis over here, which is where I hatched my turtle shells, or turtle eggs. Technically I hatched them over there, but the original four, which is Michelangelo, Leonardo, they are somewhere. I did see Michelangelo just there though. Then we go over to here and we see our bamboo farm currently overflowing as normal. Because my tick speed is 10, this is probably the fastest farm. Yeah, it's probably it is the fastest farm, just goes too fast for its own good, and I don't use enough bamboo. Got a coffee bean farm, or coffee whatever it is. Pretty simple, you know, just little pods here. This guy's going to be farming it once I do get around to it. Then in here we've got our axolotl enclosure. So, you know, nice dripping, great system here. And I really try to take inspiration from the lush caves that they come from in this area. So I used a lot of clay and mud, grass. We've got the axolotls tucked away in here. I don't know why they sit there, but yeah, Ahsoka, Yacha. That one doesn't have a name. Alien and Xenos, wherever he is. There we go. And then we can leave this area. I really love this area though. I just think it looks so good. But yeah, we go back out here and then we are... There we go. We have a redstone elevator, which is one, like probably the second, or not the second, but earlier redstone contraptions that I made in this world. Little child armor stand here looking to hug. And then their parents celebrating that they are in fact okay, enjoying the elevator ride. With that, we made I made a lightning rod here, which is essentially just supposed to get the energy from the lightning and power it into the power station. But it also says that there is a malfunction or it's dangerous to go in the elevator. So that's kind of why the parent over here is so ecstatic that the child is okay. Now with that, we go back over here and this we will loop back to because tucked away little door here. I'm so happy about it. It leads to nowhere. No, I'm joking. We've got a toad enclosure. Absolutely love this little thing. It's very tucked away in terms of the builds because it's just in this little area here under this big building over here. But yeah, I got a bunch of little mushrooms, roots, glowberries, and just toads walking around, or frogs, sorry. And yeah, I just love how tucked away and peaceful this is. Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite little enclosures. But yeah, then we go over here and it's back to the dead tree. This is kind of what I was talking about before, where it's very compact. So yeah, we just ran through so many little buildings down there. There's even this little alleyway over behind them here, leading to the staircase over here, but the builds are so close together that the scale of them, I guess, and they're not even that big, honestly, but the scale of the city is accentuated, or not accentuated, exaggerated, there we go, overall. So yeah, we've got a little club slash restaurant over here. This is going to be a line of people impatiently waiting for it. I really like this little circular wall design or base design. We walk up here past the bodyguard into another empty interior. This used to act as my storage building, but I since moved it, so it's back to the cutting board with that. And then in here, a disco or club, whatever you want to call it. We got the lights, we've got the music, you know, my favorite Minecraft disc, the big step one. It even turns on when that is, you know, so yeah, I really enjoy that. Got an iron column jamming. And then we go down here to the enchantments building, which is down here. So, this is also not a complete interior. You're going to notice that quite a lot if I hadn't said that already, which is where I moved my enchantment table. So, much more magical. You would have seen hints about it above, but there is a magical crystal floating above the building itself. But when we do a fly around it, it'll probably be easier to see it then. So, say we go down here. Now, with a lot of these buildings, I have mentioned on one or two of them that I wasn't too happy with them, especially that one, because I don't think that's nearly as kind of thought out as some of the others. The reason it is still there though is when constructing the build, I do have to finish that, when constructing the base or each of the buildings, when I consider them complete, I essentially leave them like that until way later on, if ever I come back. So yeah, it's a way for me to look back on it and go, hey, you know, this didn't work about the base, or I didn't enjoy this part, and it also creates personality, I think, to have your failures kind of stuck there instead of this picture perfect base all the time. It really makes it much more human, I reckon. But with that, we are now transitioning from the trees and the nature to the boulders and the much more industrialized city, part of the city district. So over here we've got a little restaurant, which is just nice. Haven't posed the armors yet, armor stands. We've got the tunnel, or the back alley that leads down to the toad enclosure right there. We've got a loom structure here. So this one has a bit more of a story than a lot of the other buildings. That's a really good picture of the crystal, by the way. But the story behind this is it's kind of a boulder within the boulder kind of areas that was repurposed into a building. And when they did, they made this like magical loom machine that drew the colors and the strings from the roof and intertwined them down into the structure and like spread out all over the place. So I think I did that pretty well. I really like how that turned out with the colors, and yeah, I was really happy with this build, honestly. I'm happy with a lot of builds in this area. But if we go over here, we've got a forge area. So first off on the right, we've got a conveyor belt. Once that armor arrives, or 10 armor stands more accurately. Come on. There we go. So I failed with this one. When I originally made it, I did space them all out correctly. But what ended up happening is when I render and unrender the area, it pushes or makes a delay in when they are moved around. So what ended up happening is they all crammed into that one spot, which kind of ruins the effect. But I'm gonna fix it eventually, but I'm not going to change the conveyor belt system itself. I'm just going to respace the armor stands when I get around to it. Over here, we've got a lava cast door and a lava farm within. So yeah, nice little redstone contraption. I do try to make the contraptions myself, learn how the redstone works and design it myself, but it often means that the redstone itself is very bad. But yeah, so nice little lava cast building or door there. We've got over here the end of that aqueduct system with the glass falling into this little water kind of maze design on the floor. A sand castle just tucked away in the corner, framed with the big castle up there. Then a snow machine. So the idea here is this is the new official snow farm. Got 2 instead of 1. And these snow, or the powdered snow that falls onto the ground, one collects, but it's also a cooling system, I guess, for the villagers that need to be chilled out on a hot summer day. So if we go over here, this is just a trash bin. Nothing too special about it, with a little bit of graffiti. E33, better win game of the year. This is so tedious. YOLO, broski. Tar now. It's, yeah, I was getting kind of tired. I did go to Germany, by the way. Wonderful, wonderful country. Absolutely loved that trip. Also, I've been to Japan. Now, up there, there's a crane. You'll see in the corner, yeah, there you go. It's kind of a compression thing for the molten metals and whatnot. So I added a redstone clock that pushes the roof of that structure up and down constantly. It kind of creates that like pressure gauge stuff. So, if we go over here, a little small building with Banksy Van Gogh is what his name is, as he works on art, and he's got a little admirer here just checking it out as he does. Over here, we've got a illegal building. This is the start of the Dark District of the city, which is basically much more like evil stuff, you know. We've got a church for an evil religion. We've got people conducting experiments and just, you know, evil kind of stuff. So over here, no interior, but actually there is an interior. So yeah, just a little light bulb, heads, potion, ingredients, and all that stuff over there. That is situated under the staircase. We've got a poison tank there with a few pufferfish. If you go too close, they do poison you. We've got piping, which I was a really big fan of. I love how I forget which this one is called, blends, but it blends into the moss really well, and then the moss blends into the green or lime concrete powder. It works really well. But for more pollution, we go down here. We've got some powdered snow sitting there, and yeah, just the waste from the poison tank bleeding into the ground. And then, see what I mean? If we go over here, I really wish they added eels, because this is supposed to be an eel tank, but I currently have some pufferfish and tropical fish floating around in there, just enjoying their life under the power battery. Yeah. Over here, we've got the Boulder Beach, or the Dead Beach. I've named these after the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And I got really lucky that none of them died when I fought them originally. I got a tomb here. You'll see... I will show that later on. Over here we've got an ancient tomb that resided here before settlement. No interior again, but this is where I'm going to do a kind of a zombie inspired structure. I haven't fully decided, but it's going to be commemorating zombies in some way. Over here we've got our more of the Dark District. They buried up a fossil, propped it up for display, so you know, the robes and the support beams and all that stuff there. Then over here, also love that swirling design on the side. Over here though, this is one of my favorite buildings, or builds. So, custom redstone again, or I keep saying custom, I really shouldn't. But basically it detects the sound of me changing armor, which is what activates that door to open. And yeah, it works really well, honestly. But the idea behind this one is it was very much inspired, obviously, by the Deep Dark since we got the materials there, but it was very much inspired by that one ARG that was about the Yellow King. You know, like the when you reach the crossroads, don't turn left type deal. So you know, you walk in and it's this creepy little tunnel, got the skulk sensors, and they're detecting that you're here. You walk down here, and it's just pitch black nothingness leading to a creepy iron door. You know, you're slowly approaching it. You creep down. You see the skull, but you still push on, and it screams at you. I probably got too close there because you're not supposed to see them, but yeah, skulk sensor picks your sound up, tells the shriekers to shriek. I love this build. I was so inspired when I did it, and I think it turned out really well, honestly. Now, if we go back out, kind of have to, right? There's no way out of it. There we go. So, let's head back up to the church over here. So this one is inspired by Gothic architecture. I hadn't gotten the shape quite right, but I think I just built on too small of a scale to get it right. But this is what's going to commemorate the creaking. So the heart is going to go in there, and there's just going to be this huge root system extending up to the roof. And every night the creaking is going to spawn, and I probably won't be in the area for it to even hurt me, but yeah, it's going to be really fun once I do get around to doing it. I might actually have to make a video just doing interiors. But if we head back up here... Alright, so we've got a cobra statue connecting to the church. A bunch of copper golems petrified and sitting there. We've got a crime scene over here with a rotting head and the blood splatter with the redstone. I think that looked really good. We've got an observatory, or let's go scrapyard first. Got the scrapyard with a bunch of materials. I'm going to fill it up a lot more. Treat this as an interior. But this is my clay area, so I turn it into mud down below, bring it up to this level and turn it into clay. Now we go around here and we get the observatory. So nice little pattern there. Got the globe. Got a earlier map of the entire build, or entire city, village. I keep calling it city, so I'll just keep doing that. Spiral staircase leading up to the observer telescope here, so you can kind of push this there around, and then you can look in and observe out to the universe. Wouldn't do it in daylight though, because you can go blind if you do that. But we go back down here. I'm going to loop back into the city because there's a few buildings we missed. Primary one being this one. So this is the bar for the city workers. Got a water tank, or a beer tank I like to say, feeding into the bar itself. We've got a staircase here leading to a hotel room for the people that got a bit too wasted. Graffiti against the wall with the paintings, probably done by Banksy Van Gogh over here. And then we've got a honey chamber for, I call it like the smoke honey chamber, or the smoked honey chamber, for those really tasty drinks. We go over here. I've been playing around with the Armistan mod, so he's laughing at him for doing something silly. He's ordering a drink from Arcane reference. We got Vander behind the bar. Never threaten the guy that pours the drinks. Absolutely wonderful show. That leads into a door to the tank, or I call it a tank, yeah, and also the other hotel room that's up there. So, if we go back this way, we will see some custom terraining. So, this Actually, we'll do the shed first. This is the Garden Keeper's shed. Pretty simple structure, honestly. Nothing special in it whatsoever. But over here is where I get this stuff. Just, you know, shear it and then grow it, shear it, grow it, shear it, blah blah blah. Got a few wheelbarrows, a gothic, or an attempt at a gothic fence. Then this lovely, lovely view. Once the castle is done, that's going to look spectacular. But yeah, marble stone with the mossy tops, inspired by B-Dubs, or B00-100 in his Hammercraft Season 11 base. I think this one looks a lot better than that one though. This is a statue of a woman's face. I tried. I didn't do very well, but I did enjoy making it and trying to design my own statue instead of copying others. And over here we've got a golden apple and a few parrots. This is where they live. This is their sanctuary in a way. Now, this building over here used to be a warehouse, but it was turned into an apartment complex, which is kind of essentially my way of tying back the Dark District to the City District type vibes. In here, it's actually just my storage building. Nothing special about it whatsoever. There's not even walls on this top level here. So yeah, still under construction, still working on the interior, but it looks really good from that front view, I reckon. Now, if we go back down here, we can now see these structures. So these are like, you know how in older cities you get those random monuments that serve no practical purpose but are historically valuable? Or not valuable, like reserved or special? Either which way, this is kind of what that's supposed to be. So these are two spires leading up to the sky. I was also trying to make a gradient from the dark blacks to the clean whites. There and there I didn't do too well though, but yeah, I was really happy with it. We'll see the Ghast enclosure later. Oh, not really an enclosure, right? But then we get to the battlement station. So up at the top here, we've just got some nice little cannons. So, you know, if there's any rivaling country that attacks the city, they can go kablooey and, you know, defeat the armies. But we can go back down here. This is where the army or the small squad of soldiers that are going to defend the city will stay. I'm going to sleep through the night really quick. Yep. Alright, now over here, this is the door, so, you know, you have someone stationed here to talk to the visitors and all that stuff. If they're not allowed, you can flick the lever and they can't get in. If they are, then yeah. The allies are just here because I don't know what to do with them yet. And then we've got a little firework display. So if the city is attacked, they alert the castle over in the distance with some fireworks, and then they can start the evacuation and, you know, saving the people and all that stuff as well. Now, if we go over to here, we got a nice little pathway along the cliff edge for the beach. This is when I started using those two mods that I talked about before. You can see them here, Just Mob Heads and Armor Poser. And then, yeah, nice little crab. So this is Crab Beach. Over here we've got a sad guy that is just sad about the copper golems, unfortunately not making it because of the crabs. We've got another custom tree over here. Not too great. I tried to make it a lot more airy, like having air blocks within, but I don't think I did that very well. Either which way, abandoned little shack over here with a very dangerous man inside who's hiding behind the grass and is ready to leap at you when you find him. Then we go over here, you see these bags floating in the water. The crime family were not happy with some of the civilians' actions. Well, not civilians, rival gangsters' actions. So, yeah, that didn't turn out very well for them. No. Oh. So, yeah, we got a nice view here. Didn't show you that smoke plume at the top of the experimental house there, but it is there. I think it looks really good. Nice little view. You can see the gradients on the tower for the club slash restaurant building over there as well. The crystal in the distance, the monuments, the towers, the Happy Ghast little area, nest up there. Absolutely love this view. But alongside that, this is where I blend the Dark District to the Farming District. So you'll notice with the builds over here, they have a lot of red roofs, or they all have red roofs, as a matter of fact. This is because when I was making it, I wanted a way to unify all the unique builds that I did, because I didn't really follow one style of build. I blended a lot. I have the Gothic, I have the more classical, Minecraft type vibe. You got the water tower and modern tower and all that stuff. So the red roofs kind of just unify all of it into one city, and it makes it for what I think is a really beautiful area. Crystal and crane, by the way. This crane I copied from another Google image. Unfortunately, I can't give credit because I don't remember who actually made it, so I do apologize about that. Ow. Lucky this isn't hardcore, right? So with that, the farming district, I wanted to make white roofs instead of red roofs, primarily because the farmers and the city dwellers are a lot different. While the settlers in the settlement district are probably more alike to the farmers than the city dwellers, that's supposed to be that like not civilized, like that central business district, but the farmers are a lot more separated and not as like corrupt in a way. So I'm going to build a dog house like right here for all of the dog breeds. I am missing one dog breed that spawns in the Savannah Plateau, but that's okay. Over here we've got our stables. I've got a zombie horse from when the new update came out. Camels, which is pretty neat horse. And under the carpets I just got some sweet berries, which is why they don't try to leave whatsoever. And then, if we go back over here, we've got a small little church. I tried to copy the stained glass mural design or stuff that BW100 made in his Let's Play videos, or that one church that he did in one of the episodes. Didn't go as well as what he made, but I was pretty happy with it still. Got the little spikes connecting back to this design over here, which I forgot to show you. So yeah, down here, these are supposed to be like bone spikes, like climbing up the wall from the armies felled at the gates of the city. So yeah, the spikes on the church is indicative of that. We've got a graveyard behind here with another dead tree. Nice, simple, very simple designs. And then we've got a little redstone device. It needs to be flicked up from memory. I will put Armor Sense here to be having a funeral, by the way, but the idea behind this church is that they buried or dug up some ancient evil that shouldn't exist. So we've got this eye down here just staring up at the church dwellers, moves like left and right, and it's my own little redstone design. I didn't do too well at the actual redstone itself, but I made it work, which is exactly what I need. That is going very fast. That would have been why when I flicked it. Sorry. Let me just unflick it. Yeah, now down here we've got this really pretty bridge. I was actually really happy about it. And farmland. A lot more simple to explain than what those were, but yeah, it's just this farmland design. It looks really pretty. Really peaceful to walk through with the wheat. Later you get the potatoes, the carrots, the flowers, like makeshift retaining wall over here to stop the mud from falling down. At night time, the fireflies look wonderful. Little jump scare. I got a silo over here, and this is like a lot more noticeable that it's currently under construction because we're catching up to where I'm currently at and hadn't built yet. So I don't know what this building is. I kind of just made it. I'm a fan of it. I do like it, but I need to add some more into the area to make it a bit more alive. Over here we've got my mud farm. So completely custom. I keep saying custom. It's not custom. My design. So we collect say mud here and dirt here, and I have to fill my inventory. So the idea is that I put the dirt in my offhand, grab my shovel, and then there we go. So yeah, pretty simple design. Basically, you saw the bottles flipping out and all that stuff in there. But basically, you just put the dirt down there, and the bottles, they go back under you, which is why you need to fill the inventory so you don't pick them up. A hopper cart picks them up, sends them back through this feed, which then brings them back up there. And then when it brings it back up there, it refills with water over here, and then it leads back into here as water bottles. But the way the design works is there's an observer inside of here, so that picks up when there is a block placed. But it also picks up when a block is removed, which means it doubles up the action, because that one observer is what powers that whole system with the refilling of the water and also the water bottles coming back over. So I get a lot of mud, but I also get a lot of dirt coming back to me. But because I have dirt in my inventory, I don't have to worry about it too much. And it's honestly really fast. Like all this mud that I got here came from that farm. Plus, I really like the building. I think it was one of my better ones. So we go down here. We got a little fishers market. I'm gonna put again like a few rowboats out in the water to give it a bit more life. Ow, ow. So yeah, you come down here. I really like this wall design that I did here. I love this type of coral, it just looks so good. We've got the market, a few rare fish like salmon, cod, tropical fish, cod again, tropical fish again. Oh no, 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 no. Come on, get to the water. No. I'm sorry, little one. Oh well, so we got that tropical fish that unfortunately passed away. Again, empty interior, we love it. We can lead over to here, which is the moss farm. But what's better to look at before the moss farm is my bone meal farm, which is over here. You drop down under here, and surprise, surprise, it's just a skeleton farm. So, yeah, simple design. You're probably familiar with how they work by now. But if we lead back up, because now we have bone meal to feed it to the moss farm. There we go. So, this by no means is a good bone meal farm. Produces, oh not bone meal, sorry, moss. Produces quite a lot, which is a genuine surprise, but I designed it myself, so it's nowhere near as good as the redstone geniuses out there that designed their own as well. I am trying to learn redstone. I only just recently got my grasp on comparators of all things, so forgive me for not being the best out there. But this one here connects to a water dispenser, to clear off the top of the moss. This one here pushes any clogging items there, and then this one here actually turns on the machine. So yeah, simple design, but it's fast though, and that's the best part about it. It is a fast design, or a fast build, in part because of my tick speed, but also in part because of the timer for the item. Basically, when you push a observer into itself, it actually doubles the observing relay between the two. But the way the farm actually works is in these columns on the side, there are stone generators. And yeah, they generate the snow, then a sticky piston pushes up from below and pulls the stone down where it's generated, and then another piston pushes it back out into the platform. So if you've got any way to delay or slow down that observer clock that I made, please do tell me, because I've been trying to wrap my head around it. But on the same token, like, that's tons of moss. And I've got moss in here as well. So it's pretty good for what I need. It's high maintenance, that's all. Now, we've got the ship. Pretty simple. My own personal design again. We've got a little wheel thing. I forget what they're called. The sails and flags at the bottom to give it just that little bit extra life. The cabin underneath with all the beds and the chests for their loot. But they're not pirates though. This is a trading ship. The idea behind this is that this ship actually goes between all of the different bases that I'm going to eventually build within this Eternal world, and yeah, it comes and trades with them. So yeah, overall though, that's pretty much everything that is complete. Now for the incomplete stuff, obviously we've got Castle A and Castle B. This area is going to be an ancient ruined society. So the idea is that this is going to be the ancient district. So when the settlement district or the settlement people arrived, this place was already in ruin, constructed but also ruined. So I'm going to put a bunch of faulty redstone constructions inside of the buildings that will go here. So if I turn them on, they don't work, or they blow up, or drop TNT, or whatever it may be. And yeah, over here, don't know what I'm going to do with this area. Oh, custom terrain, by the way. I originally was going to do a city district with the castle, but I made the city district over there, so not too sure what I'm going to do now. Over here, we are going to make a custom forest, filling in that area. That's where I used to make moss, by the way. The ice, I'm not too sure what to do with it, all honesty. I'm open to recommendations on what to do in this side of the castle, apart from the custom forest itself. But I do think I'm going to do defense towers over here and kind of make it look like they're magically turning the river into ice to prevent raiders from getting into the city. I think that'll look pretty cool. And then over here, I did promise we would see this when we do the fly. I'll fly around. This is my absolutely beautiful Happy Cast. I say enclosure, but nest is probably a better description. There's a lot of dried ones around. That's not to be cruel. That's just because if I saved them all, this place would be full and it would look really bad. So, but yeah, I've got the little nest for them to hydrate and turn into adults. And yeah, I showed the fireworks stuff. If we go over here, obviously this place is very much under construction still. I have some plans coming up for different buildings that might be spread around, but I don't want it to be as condensed as there. I want it to be much more spread out, since this is the farming district. A lot of the farmers, especially in real life, have a lot of distance between each other. So yeah. But yeah, there'll be bridges that extend out to here. I'm going to cover the lake in mud which is going to give it this black look to it, which is also going to help the name of the city, which is, or kingdom, which is Nyx Lake Kingdom. Nyx being the Titan of night, I believe, in Greek mythology, or darkness or void or something like that. And yeah, it's just going to look absolutely beautiful. I'm going to put some ruins under the water as well. I'm going to get all 3 of the Nautilus types and turtles, and I'm going to name a few squids so they swim around indefinitely. And it's just going to look really beautiful once it's done, honestly. But with that, there is another thing I am working on in this area. Once we fly all the way down here. Bam. Which is this. So, this is going to be the backrooms. I'm hoping you know what the backrooms are, but yeah, under the city, I'm going to make this huge area of just the most simple backrooms design, kind of like a little labyrinth under the city. And with that, what I'm going to do, once I do get around to it, well, not around to it, I actually started this fairly recently. There we go. So, what I'm going to do with that is around the city in tucked away spots, I'm going to have like tripwires that open up and make you fall into the back rooms. Like over here I'll put one, and maybe in the cargo area over here I'll put another one. But yeah, the idea is going to be that if you make the wrong step, you just fall into the back rooms and you have to navigate your way back out. And it's just going to be really fun, honestly. Then with that, we can go over to the Nether. I don't have an official Nether hub yet. There's only one farm there. I'm going to make a Froglight farm pretty soon, hopefully. Ignore the voice crack that happened. Oh no! Made it to an hour. I'm so sorry. So if we fly over to here. There we go. So this is my piglin or zombie piglin farm. Piglins? Pigmen. Yeah, you know what they are. This is a design that Waddles made, or Waddles used in a very old video of his when he had his jungle base. But yeah, you hurt them, they spawn on the rings, come over to you because you hurt one of them, and either die by entity cramming if you want items, or you can kill them yourself and also get experience. I haven't connected it to any storage system whatsoever. Doesn't create any lag, which is pretty good. Not yet, at least. But eventually I will connect up a storage system down here. Oh shit. Oh, I got it cut out. There we go. Alright, sorry for swearing, by the way. If we fly back over here, there's a few portals spread around the top, by the way. One leading to the end portal, another one leading to a ancient city. With a lot of this, by the way, it's probably worth mentioning that I do use a website called Mine Atlas. Basically, you put in your seed and it tells you where a bunch of structures are. The reason why I use it is I've been playing Minecraft for years and years and years. Like, I've been playing it since probably when I was in high school, like 10 years ago or something like that. And it just gets really tedious for me, or in my opinion, to every time I make a new world to go and find the end portal, or exploring the Nether. I don't mind, because usually there is a fortress close by. Bastions are actually a lot more common than I initially... Is he wearing a turtle one? No, he isn't. But the looking for the stronghold and looking for spawners is just too tedious for me, so I chuck it into Mine Atlas, find where they are, and use them. With that though, this is one of my upcoming projects, which is going to be a completely terraformed mushroom biome with like a paradise kind of area. So I'm going to have like a villa on this one with like a holiday building, vineyard down here. Vineyard? I think that's what they're exactly called. Yeah, and then it'll lead down to a beach overlooking the ocean with a coral reef within it. And it's just going to look really pretty once it is made. But that is for an upcoming video. I will actually edit that one instead of having it like this one. So as we head back to the base, my overall intention with this is, like, there's no editing going into this. This is largely just me kind of showing everything that I've done so far. That's because I recently came back from holiday. I have finished uni really recently, like end of last year as well. And now that I have a lot more free time on my hands, I'm looking to do a few kind of side projects and whatnot here and there. So, like with this one especially, this channel is just going to be a let's play of my Minecraft world and the slow development of the Eternal World, because anytime that I want to start a new world, instead of starting a new world, I'm just going to, find a new location a few thousand blocks away and restart essentially. But, if I ever want to come back, I can just, come back to these bases and continue to work on them, or if they're complete, then they're complete. That's it. Yeah, it's going to be really fun, honestly. I've had a lot of fun so far. I'm actually a lot closer to being complete than I initially thought. I've got, of course, the 2 giant castles and that whole giant area to complete with this one, but the custom forest I should be able to complete fairly quickly in comparison to that, because there was this video in Hermitcraft, I believe, where I think Mumbo and Sky were talking about the difference of bases. Just really quick before I keep going. A little copper statue sniper. He's sniping away at a... I'm going to put a little camp over there. But they were talking about like idea-heavy bases and large-scale bases. So like this city, there's so many ideas that came into it. The loom, the forge, the bar, the experimentation building, all of it came into one. But then with the castles, the idea is fairly simple. Just a ruined castle and a black castle. So like they're far more simple in ideas than like the city. So I should be able to, if I can keep my focus on them, do them pretty quickly. But I've been doing a lot of resource gathering and working on those live structures as of late. So I think the next few videos might just be me doing some comparatively smaller builds to fill in this area and make it pretty, and fill in that area and make it pretty. If not, I'll work on that tropical island that I'm also working on as well. But yeah, so once again, I am a Fiction Novice. Thank you for watching my video. If you did make it the whole way through, please do consider subscribing, but no stress if you don't. I'm just doing this for fun. And yeah, would love to see you on the official episode 1. Alright, thank you very much. Have a good day.